Hello guys, I am Lewis from Lewis Paris Fitness and I'm here working with the guys at F1 Esports. I typically train their drivers going through a series of workouts, progressions and sort of challenging ways to make sure they get to their peak performance. So that's where I come into play. Today we're going to go through a series of stretches, typically looking at your ankles, your lower back, your neck and your wrists, okay? What we want to do is take a knee, 90 degrees with the leg in front, knee typically in line with the hip, all right? From here, I'm going to place my hands on top of the knees and I'm going to shift my body weight forward so my knee goes past the toes, okay? In this position, I want to focus on keeping my heel flat on the floor and apply as much pressure as I can on that knee. We want to stay here for about 15 to 20 seconds and we want to hold the stretch so we can feel it almost in your Achilles heel, all right? A little extra tip, if you want to get more range or if you want to feel like you want to get more out of your stretch, you can hold a kettlebell up on top or even a dumbbell, something with a good amount of weight, and that will help apply pressure onto that knee. If you feel as though you still can't feel the stretch, then do it on top of a bench or a box, all right? So for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and then relax, okay? Going into the next one. Taking your time as you sink in, applying as much pressure as you can into that knee. Keeping that chest open and just relaxing in. And here you can sort of understand your imbalances if one side feels tighter than the other, okay? All right, so from here, I'm gonna keep my legs exactly how they are. I'm gonna sit back and go into the shin stretch, okay? So my foot is completely flat, toes pointing away from me, and I'm gonna sit back. Using my hands for stability, I'm gonna sit back right onto my ankle. Take your time. You don't know how much range you've got in your ankle, and we don't wanna aggravate any of the joints, okay? So from here, you just wanna relax and apply as much weight and as much pressure into that foot, using your hands to stabilize, okay? So if you feel like there's too much pressure, you can slightly lean forward, stabilize with the hands, or if you want a bit more, you can sit back and just relax as much as possible, and you should feel your ankle stretch in the opposite direction, okay? So you're just going into that shin stretch, okay? Here you want to stay for about 10 to 15 seconds. Get a good amount of time, even take it up to 30 if you like. And then we can switch. Same rules apply. Nice and controlled, nice and slow, sinking right into it. My right side feels a lot more looser, so I want to sit back as much as possible, applying as much weight as I can into that stretch, just to really open out the ankle as you flex it and extend it into this position. 3, 2, and relax. Okay, taking that seat, you're gonna have one leg straight, and then you're gonna drive your toe in towards the knee, okay? So with this flexed leg, I'm gonna push my toes towards my knee, and I just wanna sort of feel another sort of stretch. So here we'll go manually as we're trying to open out the Achilles heel one more time, and just apply a bit more pressure in the sense that we can sort of drive our weight into the balls of our feet. Please don't ask me what this one's called, I really can't remember. Too many to remember. That's it. Beautiful. And the same rules apply. One more time, driving that foot, flexing at the knee, driving from the balls of your toes as you bring the toe in towards the knee. And here you just want to flex and apply as much pressure as you can into that foot as you drive the toes in towards the body. Ideally, you should feel a stretch, again, in the Achilles area, just to help release some tension, and your ankle should feel a lot more looser. Okay, to finish off the ankles, we want to work dynamically now, okay? So we're going to stay in the frontal plane, and what we're going to do, we're going to roll forward and backwards onto our toes, back onto the heels, okay? So you want to roll forward and backwards, up and down, working dynamically. Same again, just getting some of that fluid into the joints just to help loosen out and make us move a lot more freer. So up and down, aiming for about 20 reps. Very simple. If you haven't got the balance, then you can hold onto a wall or a chair. Going as high as possible onto the toes. Taking your time. Beautiful. And then just to finish off, we're going to work in a multi-direction, okay? So with one foot flat on the floor, you're just going to rotate on your toes, nice big circles with the heel, just so we hit all angles of that foot. And if you can, go in the opposite direction. So you're just rotating in nice big circles, driving with that heel. It's more of a square than a circle, but what can we do? And then switch. So from here, you just want to relax into it. See how your feet are working. And then switch. So a lot of the time when the drivers are in their seat, they're in a prone position, they're going up and down in the same direction. This can sort of cause repetitive strain, put a lot of strain on the calves, a lot of strain onto the joint. So if they don't stretch out or move it freely in the directions it should move, then they'll forever be stiff, and that can lead to further injuries, okay? And they might not perform as well, all right. Okay, so now we're gonna focus on stretching our lower back, typically the lumbar, okay? The first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna take a seat, and we're gonna have our legs in front, okay? We're gonna flex at one leg, okay? So one knee, we're gonna flex at the knee here. We're gonna tuck the inside of our foot inside the quad, okay? From here, I'm gonna rotate so my chest is towards the knee, the hand towards the straight leg, okay? And then from here, we wanna take a nice deep breath, still staying side on, and we're gonna reach towards the straight leg foot with the opposing arm overhead, and we're gonna pull ourselves in and hold. Okay, so here we're aiming to stretch the torso, typically obliques, part of the QL muscle. Wouldn't really hit performance just as much, but we want to hit the lower back, typically on the side on the torso, okay? So we hold here for about 20, and then we'll work dynamically. So you're going to front face the straight leg, you're going to rotate the chest towards the knee, deep breath in, breathe out, and reach as low as you can go, staying completely side on. 2 more. Beautiful. And then we can switch to the opposite side. Chest towards the knee, deep breath in, and reach. So we work dynamically one more time. Chest towards the knee, deep breath in, exhale, and reach with that foot driving you in, arm overhead. One more time. And relax. Okay, so whichever leg you want to do is totally fine. We're going to cross one leg over, okay? From here, we're going to rotate in the opposite direction, okay? So ideally, you want to bring your elbow in front of that knee, and you want to twist the opposite way, and you should feel your torso stretch. So we're getting a nice good thoracic stretch here as we open out the lower back, and you want to hold typically for about 15 seconds. And repeat on the opposite side. Deep breath in and breathe out. Nice big stretch. Here you should feel your torso open out. You might even feel it a little bit in your glutes. Again, we like the spine to move and flow as much as possible. So this is a great stretch to really open out the lumbar and the thoracic. Beautiful. Okay, so from here, we're gonna take a seat. We're gonna cross the leg over, ankle on top of the knee. All right, with that chest staying open, you wanna avoid rounding your back, okay? So you wanna keep the chest up, maintain good posture. I wanna push my hand onto the knee. Hand is just placed, the opposing hand is just placed on top of the ankle. Deep breath in, whilst driving the knee down. Keeping the chest up, I'm gonna breathe out. And lean forward. Here we're stretching the QL muscle and just opening out the performance, which is very deep in our glutes, okay? So we want to do this dynamically. Probably get down, hold that stretch for about 3 to 5 seconds. I'm going to work it up and down about 10 reps, okay? So you really want to take your time here. Deep breath in, pushing that knee down, placing your opposing hand on top of the ankle, and breathe out. And you want to hold that stretch 3 to 5 seconds. And you should feel it very deeply along here in terms of your glutes, almost pulling up into your QL and your performance, okay? One more time. And then switch. Same again, take your time. Deep breath in, pushing that knee down towards the floor. And breathe out and reach forward. Hold that stretch 3 to 5 seconds. And then release. Okay, to finish up, we're gonna go into our lumbar extensions, okay? So, I'm gonna lie flat onto my chest. From here, I'm gonna bring my arms in line with the chest, okay? I wanna drive up, keeping my hips on the floor, feet staying on the ground, and you're just flexing, okay, at the spine, opening up your chest to the sky, and releasing the tension in the lower back, and then release. Okay, so we're not gonna spend too long up there. We're gonna work dynamically one more time. Up, relaxing the shoulders, try not to hunch, pushing your shoulders down, and release. So typically you wanna do this about 10 to 15 times, helping to release the tension in your lower back. Deep breath in, breathe out. Pushing up as high as possible, relaxing your hips. And try not to contract too much. Focusing on your arms, doing more of the work as you allow your back to relax. And just for good measure, you can add in some rotation to get some more spinal movement, so you can open up the lower back a little bit more. You want to look over your left shoulder, pushing the right shoulder out. And you should be able to see your feet behind you. And then to the opposing side. One more time. The more you twist, the better. Again, the spine is made to move. And relax. Typically, we're going to feel it a little bit in our lats, a little bit in the shoulders, more so in the rhomboids, okay? So we're gonna really open out our thoracic from here. You wanna ideally do it on a box or a bench, elbows onto the bench, and you're gonna sit back, giving yourself enough distance, and you're gonna sit back. You can clasp your hands together, driving your head through the gap, pushing your head towards the floor. Okay, here you'll start to feel your spine open out, getting a nice deep stretch in the lats as well. Okay, so you want to take your time. If you feel uncomfortable, then just reset or don't push down as hard as you would before. Nice. So after about 20 seconds, you want to open out your arms, bring your knees back a little bit more, repeat the same process, but this time your arms are wider than your shoulders and you're driving your hips down towards the heels as you bring your head towards the ground. And here you can open out with the arms and you're going to feel the stretch in your chest and your upper back once more, okay? So there are a lot of reasons why we have bad posture is because our chest is really tight. So what tends to happen is your chest tightens up and it pulls your arms forward. So what we want to do is sort of reverse that and focus on open us out a little bit more to help with our posture. Beautiful. Okay, so now we're going to focus on stretching everything from the traps up, including our neck, okay? So what tends to happen is when you're in that prone position, everything tightens up. Again, we want to stay loose, okay? The more the drivers are relaxed, the better they will perform. Simple. All right, so we're going to take a seat. And from here, you want to be very, very comfortable. You don't want to seat too low, too high, okay? You want to stay completely squared on. Relax the shoulders. The last thing we want to do is hunch, okay? So relax the shoulders as much as you can. You're going to clasp your hands together, and we're going to work in different directions. 4 directions, mainly for the neck, just to open out the upper traps, the neck obliques, stuff like that, all right? So from here, I want to push my hands together, and I'm going to push my chin up towards the sky. Again, I don't want to maneuver the body back. I just want to focus on manipulating the neck, okay? So one more time, driving the chin up. And hold typically for about 10 seconds. After that, we want to clasp behind the back of our neck, our head, sorry. And you want to tuck your chin in towards the chest, and you want to pull your head down so you feel the back of the neck stretch. One more time. So you want to clasp your hands together, tuck the chin in towards the chest, and then drive your head down with a little bit of pressure, not too much. That's the one. From there, staying completely squared on. Again, we want to relax the shoulders. Using your right hand, you're going to place it on the side of your chin, and you're going to pull your chin over your left shoulder. Staying as relaxed as possible and holding that stretch. And then repeat on the opposite side. And back into center and relax. Drawing a nice big circle. We want to get creative now, okay? So imagine there's a pencil in the middle of your chin, and you want to draw a nice big circle, okay? Staying completely squared on. If you want, you can imagine you're holding weights and you're pulling your shoulders down towards the ground, okay? So that will encourage you to drop your shoulders nice and low, okay? So from here, I'm going to draw a nice big circle with my chin. And we're going to go around for 5. Beautiful. And switch. Nice. From there, you should feel a bit more looser. I feel a bit lightheaded. Be easy, all right? Okay. What we're going to do, we're going to focus on stretching upper traps now, okay? So we're going to work in 2 different planes of movement, shall we say, okay? So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to flex my arm behind me. From here, I'm going to stay completely squared on so the chin is neutral. I'm gonna grab the side of my head and bring my ear down towards the shoulder, and I'm gonna hold here to stretch my traps, okay? The more you relax the shoulder, the better. And you should feel it all on the side of your neck, leading down towards the shoulder. Here we hold for about 20 to 30 seconds. Once we've done that for 30, you're gonna rotate your chin, and you're gonna tuck your chin in between your chest and your armpit, okay? From here, I'm gonna use that same arm I had behind me, and I'm gonna bring my chin in towards the armpit, and we're gonna focus on attacking the neck oblique, okay? So one more time, chin in towards the armpit, tucking down, hand behind the head, pulling in, and you should feel the stretch all in the neck oblique. Nice. All right, so this time we're gonna go to the opposite side now, okay? Same rules apply. We're gonna flex at the arm, driving our hand right behind us. We really wanna tuck it in, and we're gonna bring our ear down to the opposite shoulder, and we're gonna hold to stretch the upper traps. 20 to 30 seconds, one more time. And then we're gonna rotate chin in towards the chest, in between the chest and the armpit, and we're gonna pull down. Okay, so from here, we're gonna work on stretching our rear delts. Everything along the upper part of your back, you're gonna feel it right behind your shoulders, okay? You wanna flex at the knees, okay? Feet together, legs together. You're gonna clasp your hands behind you. Try not to grab your hands, okay? So you just want them to overlap, okay? So from here, you're gonna fold over, deep breath in, breathe out, fold over, chin in towards the chest, and you're gonna pull your elbows in towards the thighs. And you're gonna hold here for your upper trap, rear delt stretch. Here we can sort of really dig into the shoulder joint that little bit more as we hit the rotator cuff. Nice. There you should hold for about 30 to 45 seconds, okay? We're gonna open out our shoulders that little bit more now, okay? So from here, I'm gonna make a T with my body. I'm gonna go into a lion scorpion stretch, okay? So nice and straight. T's, hands in line with the shoulder, so you're making a nice big T. You're gonna kick that leg over. The hand you can see, you wanna bring it in towards the chest, push against the ground, and hold that stretch as you look up. Here you should feel it in your shoulder. Depending on how tight you are, you might even feel it in your chest. Holding for about 5 to 10 seconds and then switch. Same again, same rules apply. So we want to work dynamically, not holding for too long. Each time we go over to the opposing side, we should be able to get a bit more range, okay? Feeling brave. You want to bring your arms up that ever so slightly so you're making a small Y with the body. And then you want to kick over and you feel an even bigger stretch in your shoulder as we aim to hit the rotator cuff and the chest. Nice. Line on your side now. We're going to do the cross body stretch, okay? So I want to lie on my side, arm in line with the chest. I'm going to roll over so my chest becomes parallel to the floor. Opposing arm is in line with the ear. And here you just want to relax. Again, we're just opening out the shoulders as we relax in this position. Aiming to go as parallel as possible. Nice. And repeat on the opposite side. Same again, lying on your side. Rolling over so your chest is parallel to the floor. Opposing arm in line with the ear. And here's your opportunity to just relax. Nice deep breaths. And there it is. So here you'll typically spend about 30, if not 45 seconds, depending on how you feel. And then you're good to go. Okay, so now we're going to focus on stretching our wrists. Typically when the drivers are racing, they're in this forced position for a very long time, meaning their forearms will seize up and they won't have much range of motion in their wrists, okay? So what we want to do is help release tension and sort of prevent any sort of injuries that may sort of come up or occur, okay? So what we're going to do, we're going to head to the floor. You're going to go onto your hands and knees, okay? In this tabletop position, okay? So fingers away, wrists above the shoulders, okay? So from here, you want to take your time and you're going to lean forward, aiming to keep your arms nice and straight with your shoulders going past the fingers, okay? Aiming to keep your arms nice and straight. Here you want to focus on feeling the stretch in your wrists and your forearms, okay? Now, if you feel as though you want to get more range, you can drive your wrists a bit further towards you, and then you will go onto one leg and lean forward as far forward as possible, okay? So this is beautiful to really open out the range of motion in your wrists. Keep your arms as straight as possible. Try not to flex at the elbows, and we want to stay here for about 20 seconds. Beautiful. Once you've done that, shake it off. Oh, that's a tough one. This time you're going to rotate. Okay, so you're going to externally rotate, exposing your forearms away from you. Okay, same again. Take your time, arms nice and straight. Almost protract. Okay, so you don't want to retract, you want to protract. Open out your shoulder blades, pushing against the floor, and you're going to lean back. Nice and slow, nice and controlled, to really open out your wrists and your forearms. Nice big stretch. Typically these get missed out. They don't really get stretched or mobilized as much as we should. Whether you're driving or on a laptop all day, your wrists will seize up. So it's good to focus on really opening out, releasing some of the tension in that lactic acid. Nice. One more time, shake it off. Here we're going to go into a neutral position now, okay? So you're going to close your hands, so you're going to have a closed fist, the knuckles on towards the floor. Still again, we're in our tabletop position. Aiming to have your thumbs outside the fingers, okay? From here, you're going to rotate forward and back. So you're going to rock onto the gap between your thumb and your finger as you push through with the arms nice and straight. And we're just going to work and open out the wrists dynamically in this neutral position. So we're working on the frontal plane, keeping the hands neutral between pronation, supination, as you rock forward and back. Notice as I rock forward, the arms goes completely straight. I can flex at the elbows as I come back. And typically we'll do about 10 to 20 rocks with the wrist and the fist completely closed, or shall I say hands completely closed. Nice. So we're going to go into an open palm stretch, okay? This is going to be very difficult. This is one of the toughest ones. But once you ease into it, you'll notice how free your wrists will feel, okay? So same again, still on your hands and knees. I'm going to support myself with the opposite hand. The opposing hand, I'm going to start off with the knuckle, okay? From here, I'm going to flex open. All right, so I'm showing my palm up towards the sky, keeping my arm nice and straight, okay? If I show you with the opposite hand, I'm gonna flex open, aiming to keep my shoulder in line with the wrist, palm to the sky, and then back into a closed fist, okay? So staying in that tabletop position on the knuckles, I'm gonna open out to the back of my hand, showing my hand up towards the sky, and easing my way into it, okay? So this can be semi-dangerous, so you want to take your time with it as you open and close, keeping the arm nice and straight, and just seeing how far or how much the wrist can take, okay? So you don't want to overdo it, just enough to feel the stretch. Typically you want to work here 10 to 20 times on each wrist. Okay, as a bonus, or if you want to challenge yourself, try and do the same movement, but with your wrists, with your hands completely closed, okay? So you want to have a closed fist throughout. So imagine you've gripped onto something really tight, and we're going to go onto the back of our knuckles, on the back of our hand, as far as we can go, trying to replicate what we just did. Now the goal here is to keep your fists completely closed, and you want to avoid your hand naturally opening out, okay? So imagine you're gripping onto something really tight, keeping your shoulder in line with the wrist as you drive down onto the back of the hand and back in. So here we call this the false grip stretch. All right, so if you want to take your training to the next level, i.e. calisthenics, and you want to work on building upper body strength and building that grip strength, this is a great way to really open out and releasing some of that lactic acid so you can perform a lot better in those tougher movements. I'll show you from here. Keeping that arm completely straight, you want to try and get that weight into that wrist so you can get a nice big stretch, aiming to keep the wrist completely closed off. Nice. Finishing off, you're going to go and clasp your hands together, keeping the elbows tucked in, and you're just going to rotate in one direction, okay? So nice big circle as you work, just like we did with the ankles, in a nice big circle. It doesn't look like a circle to me. And go in the opposite direction. That's it. There's my coordination. Nice. Okay, and relax. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and it's helped you in performing better in your game. See you soon.